on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal. Ruhl, that guy. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, got the tea in the jar here today. D-Mac, though, he's a gamer. He shows up.
NHL playoffs, I was yelling at the TV last night.
We will discuss all of it. We got a big-time show lined up today. We got Sam Flannel in the house. We got Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. And as we said, action-packed show, 11:14. Our guy, Trevor James, head coach of Detroit City FC, will join us. Hunter Dickinson had some thoughts on name, image, and likeness, and he knocked it out of the park, man. He killed it. And it's something that I've said here on this show before, and it's something I want to celebrate and give it its due time, which we will, coming up just a little bit later on as well. We got some Lion stuff. Las Vegas might be putting too much pressure on Adian Hutchinson. They have him as the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year. I think we should just slow down.
Yeah.
I was told.
It's a little too much to ask.
Let him sign his contract first. That's what I was told. Even though I said that, that's what I was told. No, but what we will. We'll discuss that as well. But we got it lined up.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I was told that.
Better than not.
Oh, so it is good to have expectations.
It's a good thing to have him at the beginning of the year. That means that people are expecting good things out of him.
I'm confused.
Confused by Vegas or confused by
all
people's opinions?
Confused by all of it.
Excuse me. This is Vegas. Vegas doesn't get it wrong
No,
very often.
They certainly do not. But we are happy to have you all with us on Twitter and Facebook. Appreciate you jumping in for the first segment of the show. After the first segment, jump on over to our YouTube page and catch us live if you want to keep it rolling. But we are doing it, as we said, Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Detroit Dabber in the YouTube chat thread. What up, Doe? He is back. He is on top. And that is cool. But there was something that was going around the room here. And you guys know how this works by now, where I walk in sometimes 3 minutes before the show. We don't know what we're going to talk about to open because stuff happens organically here all the time. And I was grocery shopping yesterday, old bit. I only had like 10 things to get, so everybody just calm down. I was well within the legal limits of the express check self-checkout lane. Everything was cool. So that was fine. Came across a pre-bottled, pre-mixed old-fashioned on the shelf as I strolled down the bourbon aisle. And it upset me deeply. And look, we always talk about this, right? And maybe this is my old man yells at clouds
you have
moment.
to explain to the kids out there what an old-fashioned is.
Right, well, it's a bourbon-based drink that some people have different recipes for. You could ask 100 people, and there could be 100 different old-fashioned recipes. That's part of the charm of the drink. Now, maybe this is my old man moment. Maybe it is.
So it's more about the person presenting you the drink or whatever and their interpretation of an old-fashioned most of the time at the bar, right?
No, well, it's that, but it's just the old-fashioned is the one. If you want an old-fashioned, you earn an old-fashioned. You either have to mix it or you have to go to a bar and have someone make it for you. But the point is it has to be made. There's effort. And the thing about the old-fashioned is that effort is half of the reward to the drink. That's the point of the old-fashioned. Look, you want a White Claw or you want a summer shandy out on the boat, in the summertime, cool. You cannot reach your hand in a cooler and pull out an old-fashioned.
I can relate because it's sort of like having your hand on the product as you're breaking it down before you consume it. I get it. There's a whole process to it.
Exactly. And that is part of the point of the old-fashioned. It's one of those rare drinks where it's not the drink itself. It's the whole process of the old-fashioned. And people agree with me right away. Joey 2 times. Yeah, an old-fashioned premix sounds weird. GW the Kid, I'm already with you, Neal. Detroit Dabber, muddling the sugar cube with the bitters is the best part, or using simple syrup if that's your thing. And that's, look, and I know we're losing some of the audience with that. I understand that. We'll have one in the office here on Friday, and we'll go across the street to Kroger to get an orange just to make an old, like, that's part of it. That's part of it. This is where I draw the line, and this is my old man moment, I guess. You want vodka soda pre-mixed, canned? Cool. I've done that before. Cool. I'll do it in a pitch. I'll even go so far as to say at a golf tournament one time, I had a canned Bloody Mary in the morning. I did.
Blasphemous.
I did. I had a canned Bloody, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a Bloody Mary, but it got me by in the morning. But I draw the line at an old-fashioned. Again, I'm probably an old man for saying this, but that is the line. I hope people agree, but they probably won't.
I'm sure I probably drank a few back in the day, but I didn't know what it was. But I like bourbon too, so it's like you said, it's all part of the production, right?
Absolutely.
And the effort and stuff. I was worried that you were gonna come on this morning and say, "Oh, by the way, before I preface this, happy birthday, Maddie."
Absolutely,
Maddie, and there's gold on Oak Island, folks. Yes,
okay.
They're coming back next year, and they're bringing it out of the ground. But it's a positive, and I thought Neal was going on this, but he's on his old fashions. So Oak Island, wait till next season, guys. It's coming out of the ground, but we know it's there. Rick and Marty Lagina even said, it's no longer a wild goose chase. We have facts. Yes.
All right, D-Mac.
Happy birthday, Maddie. And
I was
May
told.
the 4th. Right? May the 4th be with you while I'm on the subject. KJ, my nephew KJ over in Canada, it's his 5th birthday today. Happy birthday, buddy.
All right, so there it is. But no, yes, we are going to get to the sports, everybody. Just calm down. We're going to get there. We have a long runway here today to talk about all that stuff. But again, Hunter Dickinson talking about, he flat out, I thought, kind of called out Michigan and their name, image, and likeness policy, or their lack thereof, as far as getting involved with it and all that kind of stuff. And he made some really good points, man.
Well, you know what the one thing was, is listening back to what he said, was there was some sort of criticism there where the gray line is the difference between paying players to play and the NIL name, image, and likeness. One of the conversations is you see guys moving now without anything in place, right? There's different programs that have all the offensive linemen or all the defensive linemen. You get drafted, you're part of this NIL without even your name, image, and likeness, knowing who you are, right? Creating a gray area. But what Hunter Dickinson did say is absolutely 100% what we've all been saying. Unless Michigan figures out a way to be involved, they're going to be left behind. No matter leaders best, whatever they want. When it hits the road, the money says that. And when you have a guy returning, right? So the fact Hunter Dickinson's returning, I would assume there's NIL in place for him to come back. But he wants to win. And he knows that unless you're spending money, you're not going to win.
You're going to have a harder time winning. That is safe to say. But, there's that. Also, the NHL playoffs, the other series kicked off last night as well. Low key, I'm concerned about the Florida Panthers, and I was going in because the season was so good, and that's the amazing nature to me of the NHL playoffs, is exactly what happened to the Florida Panthers last night, where you can even be cruising along, one play changes everything.
Well, it's playoff hockey.
Yeah,
and I think both the expectations out of both Florida franchises in Tampa Bay, who laid an egg. First game they'll play tonight again to come back against. That's the game of the night to watch. And early in the series, right? Game 2, you say it's 7-game series, got to win 4. But this is so big for Tampa, and everything that I said yesterday. If the two times defending Stanley Cup champion is awake or alive, did Toronto wake them up? We'll find out. I thought Florida was flat too last night. Washington. They've won also. They're not going to go away. Guys like Alexander Ovechkin. What you notice is a guy like Kuznetsov, you forget, could take over a series. They got Backstrom, Tom Wilson, Plymouth's own, getting her done. That's a good team. So, again, it comes down to goaltending. The big games tonight are obviously the Tampa-Toronto game in my mind and the Edmonton game. Right, obviously Edmonton's got to come back and win tonight against LA, and I'm not sure that they're able to move on, maybe past the Kings in the first round, but any further than that with Mike Smith as their goalie. So, look for a big game from him. Prove me wrong tonight.
Yeah, Jack Harrington says Rangers-Penguins was a great game, and it was. Can you imagine making 79 saves and losing? Could you imagine that?
Unbelievable watching that game and seeing. How about Louis Domingue? Let's talk about, yes, Shesterkin played a great game, 70-some shots, whatever that is.
Domingue comes in the middle of overtime.
Domingue is cold. The backup in the second overtime has been sitting watching the game for 4 hours and has to come in, and not only come in, Crosby loses a draw twice in a row, and he has to face the Norris Trophy winner, Adam Fox, and make 2 big saves. He played great. This is a journeyman. This is a story in itself. There's always a goalie that steps up, and we'll see what happens. But, again, you can't count Pittsburgh out because of their experience. And you see, well, again, Geno Malkin, when the push comes to shove, scores a big overtime goal. So you think Pittsburgh's too old. You think that playing into the third overtime and stuff like that's going to wear guys down. But experience, knowing what you need to do, how to cut the corners, and when you get young goaltending like that and a guy to come in, that definitely invigorates your team.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk some Detroit sports as well, just in terms of what GM do you have the most faith in? And that was a listener-driven question yesterday on our YouTube chat thread. So remember, you guys can tap in on there as well. Our social media handles are on the screen. I get a lot of people that reach out to me on social media the last couple of days. So feel free to go ahead and get through that. Stories just keep coming out about it. I don't get it, but whatever. I'll take the press.
No, absolutely. And then you look at teams that did come out and play the way they needed to. You look at that game last night by Calgary. I mean, that was a 1-0 game, but they played a great 1-0 home playoff game, right? They didn't seem like they were out of contention. And then you look at my preseason pick for the Stanley Cup, that Colorado Avalanche, right out the rip, right? The conversation yesterday was Nathan McKinnon's a better playoff player than Connor McDavid. Well, he sure as heck showed that he's on a mission.
You know what I like
right from the rip.
You know what I liked about that game was they played it on ESPN during the intermission of the overtime for the Penguins Rangers, and the Avs come out and just boom, 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 and it was 3-0. And I was like, well, thanks. When the Rangers game picks up, I don't have to go back to this game at all because this game's a wrap.
See, isn't that the beauty when having 4 games and the crossover? You can watch it, and the best part is ESPN covers them, so they're gonna do the play-ins or give you the highlights so you don't miss anything. Yeah,
and then Calgary obviously with the win as well last night, 1-0, just a choke out. They dragged Dallas to the mat and choked them out, and they got the win. Nobody's talking about old Calgary. Nobody's talking about them.
Well, they subtly they don't want to fade. That's a team that, they still got. They still have things to prove, right? Because they got to get out of the first round. They got to continue to do this. In the past, they've been able to play like this, but consistently, can they do it? They've proven it. This year, they can. Playoffs are a different beast. Somebody asked in the chat thread, did you see the disallowed goal?
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I thought it was a good call, just for the fact that all that Kapanen had to do was lean back in the defenseman like he was avoiding the paint, but the way he came across. Here's the thing, Neal, with that call, they have to consistently call it like that the whole playoffs. And I don't have a problem with it. Stinks for the Rangers, but being at home, you're supposed to be able to come back, especially when the backup goalie comes in cold. So, no excuses. Gerard Gallant, their coach, knows that. And they'll get back at it tomorrow.
All right, well, when we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Trevor James. He is a head coach of Detroit City FC. They've kind of taken over the storyline of American soccer as of late. Let me tell you about Big Boy, because the signature buffet is back. Treat yourself this and every weekend, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at your local Big Boy. They got all the favorites, 2 kinds of eggs, bacon, sausage, all that stuff. If you're getting in there a little bit later, and, you don't want the breakfast stuff, Polish sausage, garlic mushrooms, red skin potatoes, all that as well. Grits, no cream of wheat, waffles, hot cakes, French toast, fruit, and more. Weekends, 8 o'clock. a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. If you're the Spencer Raxter type, you're going to roll in there at 1 looking to do some damage. That's available to you after a heavy night. It's Big Boy. The Signature Buffet is back. Big Boy, a Detroit institution.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Summer in the D is just around the corner, and Woodward Sports is ready for all the heat. Go Tigers! From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, Big T Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, T-Mac, Darren, McCarty here in the house. We got Spencer Raxter, we got Sam Flannel. Just waiting to catch up with Trevor James here, the head coach of Detroit City FC. And yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Of course, they have the U.S. Open Cup match at Keyworth next Tuesday against Louisville City. It's getting real in those streets, coming off that win over Columbus Crew and an MLS team. They'll be on the road this weekend in league play for USL Championship in Tulsa, but we'll catch up with him in just a couple of minutes. But, you know, before we do that, certainly some news out in Las Vegas. Adian Hutchinson, the favorite to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So apparently I'm not the only one that has some expectations as far as Adian Hutchinson is concerned, I guess, right?
Well, that just adds to what you said about being a second overall pick and expectations. So the fact that Vegas has come out and said, hey, we believe in this kid too, Neal, gives more support. Do you not lean to Vegas for odds and stuff like this to get a barometer? They're a barometer. So the fact that Vegas likes where Hutchinson ended up, he likes they like the talent, the kid. Now he's just got to go out and play. But I don't think that's added pressure. How much more added pressure is it than being the second overall pick? Play for your hometown team. The pressure is whatever he puts on himself. Let's go out and play. See, that's the easiest, simplest fact. So, to me, it backs up your opinion, my opinion of what your expectations have to be, regardless of being signed or not. It's a second overall pick.
No, and it is, because that goes to show you too. I guess I wasn't that far off. Because if you're betting on someone to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, doesn't that entail probably a double-digit sack season? Doesn't that entail winning football games? Doesn't that entail all that?
Well, do reverse technology. What does Defensive Rookie of the Year stats have to bring, right? What are former Defensive Rookie of the Year defensive ends that have won this stat? So that'll give you a barometer of what he's got to be around, and they've thought about it and laid the odds out. I mean, there's when you go in it, so to me, the draft, Neal, where it was, okay, talented guys that can play in this league, but no over-the-top, super talented guys, which makes the pool for Rookie of the Year, offense or defense, pretty wide open, doesn't it?
No, it does. And Mike G says, Ruhl, how many sacks should Hutchinson have for you to be happy with the Lions' number 2? And there's not like a magic number, but I'll know it when I see it. Like, I think we'll all know it when we see it. He doesn't have to have 8 or he's a bust, or 12 or he's a bust. There's not any of that. D-Mac said it very well, I think, the other day. How are you affecting are you playing like a number 2 pick?
How are you affecting
team play?
And you'll be able to eyeball test that, right? Like you said, Charles Harris has 12 sacks. Well, Adian Hutchinson's on the other side. It's the Ajabo effect. That's what you're looking for. Who's going to benefit? Because what do we see? Neal, what do we see? We saw two different games. When Ajabo and him were effective against a team like Ohio State, Adian Hutchinson was effective. When he was negated and it was sort of the one-man show against Georgia, you didn't see him. So, team, how does he affect the overall defensive play of this Lions team? Because there's nowhere to go but up. Can we agree with that? As far as this defense stunk last year, right? So, now, even though we brought back guys who were on prove-it contracts, I like this defense better. Are they going to be a top 20 defense in the league? I don't know. Probably not right now, but they got things to work on, and this kid's going to be a big part of it.
And look, again, just going back to it, I don't think it was groundbreaking what I said on the clip, on the show. I don't think that was groundbreaking. If anything, I think that this tells you I was probably right with the take. I mean, does it not, though? And look, I'm not being a jerk. Like, I'll admit to you guys when I'm kind of being a jerk and being condescending and stuff like that. But I think that people share the same sentiment. By and large, they share the same sentiment. Now, are there touchy Michigan fans? I don't know. Are there, Sam Flannel? where if you question anything, it's an attack on them?
Of course there are some touchy Michigan fans, and I think some of them are a little bit insecure. But me personally, I think Adian Hutchinson deserves to be the favorite. I think he was the best defensive player coming into the draft. I think he's going to a good system with Aaron Glenn. He's got Charles Harris alongside him, the Aquara brothers, Aleem McNeil, Josh Paschal. I think that's a pretty good defensive line and outside linebacker group. And I think Adian Hutchinson can be that perfect addition that can get maybe 10 sacks, tons of quarterback pressures, maybe 15 to 20 quarterback hits, 15 to 20 tackles for loss. I have high expectations for Adian Hutchinson personally, and I think he will win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
All right, so there it is. It was interesting to see, too, that you had Adian Hutchinson on the list, then Kayvon Thibodeau, then the number one pick. But, I mean, and to be fair to Trayvon Walker, it's going to be hard for him to win that award,
right?
Given the nature of the position that he plays.
But and he's not a big stats guy either. But again, you're looking for his effectiveness or any one of these guys. You know, the obviously it's about who makes their team defense better in the long run. And I think Hutchinson has that ability to infect the rest of the guys around him by his work ethic, and also, you know, either he's drawing double teams or somebody else is. Yeah, I agree with Sam. Is that, you know, it's not out of line for him to be at the top. And if he looks at this and go, hey, I look at this confidently, so the rest of the league and everybody else, Vegas is looking at me being a top guy, number 2 pick, well, I should be. And he's a guy I think that will embrace that.
Yeah, but again, we're talking Adian Hutchinson right now. He's the favorite to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I'm just wondering, you know, is that too much? I was told it's a lot to ask. He hasn't even signed the contract yet. I believe that was the quote that I was given. But this, I'm not alone with this, guys. And I don't know. Is it the Michigan? Sam, you tell me. You tell me for real. What is it? Like, why do I get questioned? Why do I get attacked when I say that I have expectations from him, and now he's the favorite in Vegas to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year? What is the difference?
I think it was more the way you said it, because like I said yesterday, I think Michigan fans kind of annoy you. I don't think you're a Michigan hater. I think Michigan fans annoy you. And I still don't believe if it was Kayvon Thibodeau that you would have came onto this show and said, Michigan fans, I'm looking at you, Sam Flannel. You better produce. You better play like Nick Bosa. I think with Kayvon Thibodeau, it would have been more positive. Like, he's going to produce. I expect him to be good.
See,
that's
demanding. Where you're wrong, dude. Because once the pick's made, that's what you are. That's what the contract says you are. That's how they keep score in this league.
No, and I agree with that. And I don't think what you said was out of line at all. And like I said earlier, I expect him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I want those expectations on him because I believe in him as a player.
Jack Harrington says it's the butthurt Michigan fans. But, like, I don't... Why, though? Like, it's not even about Michigan anymore. He's not at Michigan anymore.
I mean, we're all rooting for him at this point.
Like, I want him to be Rookie of the Year. I want him to get 20 sacks.
If he's great, it helps the Lions, and that's what we all want. And so from this point forward, we want him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. We want him to be a Bosa brother. We want him to be a Gold Jacket guy someday. And That's obviously looking way too big in the future, but that's what we want at this point. So no hate from you, Neal. I know you're not hating. You just have high expectations, as does Vegas.
Right, and it's the thing now, too. We're talking about the pros. Again, as I said, we're talking about the pros now. Lions are the team I root for. I don't care how they got here. I don't care where they came from. When we're putting in that kind of resources financially, because let's be real, what I've talked about this all the time, this game is as much finance-based now as it is talent-based.
In a cap league, I mean, that's 100% true, and you know it better than anybody.
Yeah. Patrick Gillespie says, talking to Neal is like talking to a teenager. It's not what you say, but how you say it. Tone and body language says a lot more than words. All right, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. I don't. I don't know what else to say.
Tone and body language of what? The fact that, and if Adian Hutchinson's in the conversation as defensive rookie of the year, where does that put your defense, Neal? Right? It's got to put you near. Can I go 20th in the league? Right? Improvement. That's what you're looking for. Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
See what we got.
Yeah, you definitely need him to step up. I think defensive rookie of the year is a bar that needs to be set. Like you said, that's what you expect out of the second pick in the draft. That's what you expect out of this guy that's been so highly touted. And I think he can do it. He can make a run for it. And like I said, I would be extremely happy if that happens. I would be extremely happy if he has the production of a Nick Bosa. And that's what I want to see. That's what we drafted. That's what he knows, that he has these expectations coming into him for him coming into the league, and we'll see if he can live up to it. I sure hope so, because it'd be great for our football team.
Nick Hedigan says there's a history of the Lions drafting local people and it not panning out. That is part of why local people are harder on him, I think. And that's got nothing to do with it for me, man. It doesn't. Again, like the draft's over. He's here. That's it. He's got to sign the contract and go. And if it was Kayvon Thibodeau, I'd be saying the exact same thing. If it were Trayvon Walker, I'd be saying the exact same thing. If it were Kyle Hamilton, I would be saying, why are we giving $10 million a year to a safety? But it's got to be the same thing as well. Like, that's just the way that it would be.
Wasn't it? And Dave brings up a great point. Neal, it was your expectations, right? What are your expectations?
Of the number 2 pick.
Of the number 2 pick.
Again, that Bosa-esque first year.
What are your expectations?
8 to 10.
This is
mine.
your truth.
Yeah,
your expectations.
But you know me,
mine
D-Mac,
might not be the same.
Right, but for me, it's not the guy. It's the contract.
Number 2.
And the contract is 8 to 10 sacks, have moments, create turnovers, be the number 2 overall pick. That's my truth. Because ... you're getting to the double-digit millions per year. You're taking up a chunk of the cap, 5% of the cap, whatever that number is. That's it. That's my truth. I feel that's the truth with every single person that's on the roster.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Go out and prove it, and you got to play. And the thing is as we'll get into talking about the GMs, the way that the contracts are set up, right? They're giving options. You got to be looking in to not only the draft, but the salary cap on what they could be able to do or couldn't be able to do. And there's options that we didn't have in the past. That's what you like. Now guys got to go out and prove why they were chosen there.
Yeah. Epic says trust the Holmes plan. And that is part of it, which is what we said, which is what I said on the draft show and all of it. Before Hutchinson was a pick, before they made a draft pick, what was our overriding message? You can go back, clip after clip after clip after clip.
Whoever they take. Brad Holmes?
Do you trust Brad Holmes?
Yes.
Yes. He got 3 starters out of the last draft. When was the last time we got 3 bona fide starters out of a draft? It's been a minute.
Absolutely.
And that's what it was. And I was going to be okay with whoever it was. And that's why people that want to do the ha-ha about the Malik Willis thing with me, there's no finger pointing at me over that. What I said was I was cool with it if that's what they wanted to do.
Is what you said.
Yeah, because the value of the pick, the value of the contract, which the only thing that they could have done that I would have been upset about was take Kyle Hamilton too. Now I would have spiked the ball. And look, they took Jamison Williams. If they would have circled back up and got Kyle Hamilton, I'd have been like,
number 12,
Kyle Hamilton at $5 million a year? Hell yeah. See, that changes. Same guy. But the circumstances are different.
Right, that's why
because
it's
with
weird.
new information, I reserve the right to change my opinion. I'll never change my opinion, though, about my bookie. The NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, baseball is here. No better place to bet on your favorite teams, your favorite games than mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use the promo code Woodward. They will match part of your first deposit up to 50%. All you have to do is use a promo code Woodward. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. With my bookie, have a problem with gambling, call the gambling hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. We're going to have Trevor James on in about 2 minutes. Promise you, okay? So appreciate you guys sticking through with that. We had a little, some firewall internet issues that we got sorted out. We're going to deliver. So Trevor James will join us in about 2 minutes over the phone. So we will do it that way. Sam Flannel will hook it all up and do what he does. But wrapping up this Adian Hutchinson discussion. And by the way, Trevor James, too, D-Mac, is the GM and the coach for Detroit City FC. So
So he should go on our list.
Yeah, well, and we can ask him the GM. I'm always, what's the hardest part of their job?
GMs think of other GMs.
Well, yeah, I mean, that and soccer is going to be a little different for him, obviously, because there isn't a draft per se where that provides.
But he had to put this team together.
He did, and that's the thing. What's the hardest part about being a GM? Yeah. I wonder about that.
And especially when you're a coach too, right? So you got to wear two hats. When do you wear the GM hat? When do you wear the coach hat?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike G says, just like 3 chimney sweeps at Neal's mansion, Hutchinson will be cleaning up the NFC North. Yo. 2-track Jack. I will say, although I don't always agree with Neal on his takes, I'm with him on this one with the Hutch expectations. And there were a lot of people that reached out and said that as well through all this that happened. And, again, for me, man, the Michigan fan thing, the event coordinator at the University of Michigan, saying what he said about me and stuff like that. That's cool. The funny thing is like, it's not a Michigan thing anymore. As soon as they say his name into that microphone, it ceases being a Michigan thing. That's second.
It's a Lions thing.
It's a Lions
thing,
thing,
number
man.
2 thing.
Chris Spielman's a hero in this town.
So if people look, the higher you get drafted, the more expectations. So it doesn't matter where it is, the number 1 overall pick, then the 2, then the 3. The fact you can plug and play the names in here, it's what you expect because of the money, correct? I wonder if it's the same way on the pitch.
No, well, hey, let's find out. And to do that, we welcome in the head coach of Detroit City FC, the general manager as well, my good friend, Trevor James. Trevor, appreciate you taking some time here today, sticking with us, through the internet issues and all that, though. You're my guy, though, Trevor. Appreciate you. How's things, man?
Pretty good, bud. Pretty good. Not a problem at all, but good to finally get through to talk to you two guys.
Absolutely. But, Trevor, I guess the basic question for me, and this is more of a 30,000-foot thing, why is it working so well right now. And I know teams get on stretches where they play well, but Trevor, it's more than winning matches right now with what's going on with this team, the media attention, the fan reaction. You're putting 7,000 people in Keyworth when it's cold and raining outside. Why is it all working so well?
Well, I just think everybody has a role to play, Neal, and everybody is fully trusting in everybody else. It's so cliche about that, having a trust in a team, but I think that's what we do have. And as far as what's happening on the field, obviously is just repeating itself off the field. So what's happening on the field, obviously, lads have total trust in each other. They know they all have a role to play, and they know how important their role is. And to be honest, I don't think they want to let anybody down, and they certainly have done that, obviously, in this first part of the season, in every game we've played. So, yeah, I don't think they want to let anybody down. They don't want to be seen to be letting anybody down, and that's pushing them on to reach more in their personal standards, which is great for us.
Talking to Trevor James, the coach of DCFC La Rouge. Thank you for joining us. You are, in my opinion, the Scotty Bowman of coaching. My question is, you've had a lot of big wins this year so far, and it's still an early season and stuff. Was there one that stands out as a favorite to you? Obviously, playing the MLS at Keyworth, bringing the Columbus Crew in here and being able to defeat them as a fan and everything it brought nationally to the team was my favorite. But how about you as a coach? Because you put this thing together. Neal and I were talking. You're not only coach, you're GM. So you wear two different hats. This is your baby. So do you have a favorite so far this year?
First of all, pleased to meet you, Darren. I've never met you, so pleased to meet you. And you need to let me know the secret of getting all those rings that you've got. But I think that the MLS game, obviously beating the Columbus Crew was massive, because I think it was a statement, obviously for the league we play in. The second division, which obviously is the second tier in the country, and also to show the way we did it, because obviously. We didn't play our best in the first half, and it was great that we could come back and increase our intensity and work harder for each other and grind out the result and get a win against the MLS team. So I think that's probably stands out as the biggest win. But we've had, as you said, in your question, we've had a few. We've had all of them are good wins. Winning 4-0 away in Atlanta was very good. There's been a lot of good performances. Which have led to even Hartford, where we won in the last kick of the game. Effectively, we dominated in the first half and should have been comfortably in front, and then went in at half-time 1-0 down. So to come back in the second half and win again, it just shows that the character the guys have got, and they play right to the end. So there's been a lot of wins, but probably if you have to pick one, obviously to pick a win against a very good MLS team and a very good, coach in Caleb Porter, it probably gives us a little bit more satisfaction.
Talking with Trevor James here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, head coach, GM of Detroit City FC. They'll be playing Louisville City in the next round of the U.S. Open Cup on Tuesday night at Keyworth. You can go to DebtCityFC.com for tickets. Get on out there. It's on and popping, to say the least. 7,000 people there last weekend. They will be on the road at FC Tulsa on Saturday night. That match will be on ESPN+. I will not be on the call for that one, everybody, so I'm sorry to disappoint you. That's that's Tulsa FC's match, so I will not be on the call for that one. But Trevor, let me bottom line this for some of the people out there maybe aren't familiar with soccer or those types of things. Look, with you, you've worked for Barcelona, little clubs like Barcelona over in Spain. You were a scout for the English national team. You're assistant coach in the MLS, head coach in the MLS. Been at the LA Galaxy when David Beckham was there. You've been. I'm the long way of saying you've been all around the world at the highest levels of the game. Where does this Keyworth Stadium experience rank for you as somebody who's seen it all everywhere, all across the world? Give me an idea of what the fit is for the match experience at Keyworth.
Well, yeah. I mean, all those things you said, and I'm not even 40 yet, so that's great that I've done all that. I'm not even 40 yet, Neal, so thank you for that. Yeah, it's unique, to be fair. I mean, yes, I've been in a lot of environments where there's a lot more people at games. There's a fan bases which have more numbers than the Northern Guard does and the Keyworth crowd does, but it is unique because I think the stadium, and obviously you guys have spent time there. You know what it's like. It's unique that the stadium has this buzz. We train there during the week in the mornings, and it's empty, and it absolutely just turns into this, this melting pot of soccer fans when it comes game time, and it just turns into like a field that people want to perform and have to perform. So it's great for us that we've done it and we do it there. But I think the atmosphere is unique as far as that you have so many fans who, to be in a supporters group, in whatever the supporters group it is, it's a full-time job. You can't, it's not just turning up for a game and that's it. We have so many fans now, not only in Detroit and in Michigan and in the US, but all around the world. We get, our merchandise sales are up, to record numbers, and obviously last week's the MLS game and the media coverage made a massive difference to that. But so our fans are around the world now. So when you go to the stadium, you know that everybody is very much bought into what they're doing, and they're not. The majority of the fans at the stadium are not casual soccer fans. It's their club and it's their community, and that's what Detroit stands for, and that's what they want to see. So I think it's a unique atmosphere. You get a lot of, as I said, number of crowds in different leagues, but you know that everybody who comes to Keyworth are for the most part, the handful of away fans, but for the most part are rooting for Detroit to get the win.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. There's a big coaching search going on for the Red Wings. Do you coach hockey at all, Trevor? Have you coached hockey? You don't need to skate. We got guys for that. But do you need me to put your name into the hopper with Steve Yzerman? Or are you good where you're at?
Absolutely. If this is another one of those Ted Lasso things, we can do that. I don't know. But,
I'm on board.
If you want to put me in for that one. Yeah, I'll have a go at it, as you say.
I love it. That would fit in with me and the culture. I'll see what Stevie says, but I look forward to meeting you in person, Trevor. Love what you're doing. Love what you've created, and thank you for joining us on Big D Energy.
No, thanks for your support, Dan. I look forward to meeting you in person.
Absolutely. All right, Trevor James, appreciate your time as always. We'll see you out there at Keyworth. That's Trevor James, everybody, head coach of Detroit City FC. YouTube chat thread, Zachary Lyles. Nothing but love and respect for the legend, Trevor
He's
MF.
a cheeky bloke.
Trevor MF and James. There's a lot of Trevor MF and James.
But he's a cheeky bloke.
Oh, he's the best dude.
Dude, that is awesome. I love it.
The greatest part of my job is when I get to go over to the Detroit City Clubhouse and have a pint with that guy.
Oh.
And not even talk soccer.
Pints with
Trevor.
TMFJ.
TMFJ.
Oh, let's go.
We should do that. I'll be giving away a couple of tickets to that match on next Tuesday against Louisville City FC. It's going to be electric in that place again. I'll be giving away a couple tickets a little bit later on in the show, so make sure you stick around, and you will get you a shot to win a couple of tickets to see Detroit City FC, Louisville City as well.
And then we smoke you out.
You know the word. D-Mac's been out there. He's had the smoke bomb in hand and all that. So looking forward to that, and appreciate Trevor's time as well. Good job, too, to Sam and Spencer. For real.
Teamwork making the dream work.
Dude, 100%, man.
Doesn't always fly. It's like sort of today's production's like my voice.
Yeah. Man, they can't all be A's.
What can you say? I've been out there on the streets. What do you want?
Mike G, he's so cheeky and so clever. Guinness time. So yeah, there you have that. We will be right back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about Hunter Dickinson. Speaking of Michigan athletes, it's like They stay in the news, and we're going to discuss it because I think Hunter Dickinson is 1 gajillion % right. You know what else I'm 1 gajillion % right about? Planet Fitness right now, $0 down, $10 a month. That'll get you membership with access to your home club at Planet Fitness. That's it, $0 down, $10 a month, guys. There's no more excuses, man. You can join in club. You're going to pass 2 or 3 of them on the way home anyway. Figure out which one works best for you. Pull up on them. Join up there. You can jump on your computer, planetfitness.com as well. I was there today. I'm in the new regiment, banging out 5Ks a week. So that's the thing we're doing now. So we're on that. Matt, the manager here at the Maple Road location, said, hey, why are you causing trouble on the internet when I walked in there today? I said, I didn't, man.
P Fitness firing you up.
He said corporate was thankful, though.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what happens.
It's Planet Fitness, D-Mac, where your fitness
is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. With the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan, there's nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. He's
My voice is on like 3%.
Yeah, he's gotten through it though here today. Appreciate his efforts. If he can walk, he can play. That's always been his mantra. So here he is. Sam Flannel here in the building. Spencer Raxter doing it behind the scenes. And comments on the YouTube chat thread. Gary Cesaro says, Neal Ruhl, Neal Toole, glad Portnoy put you in your place.
Oh, did he ever?
Like, it's really, like, my life seems the same. You know, I went and got coffee this morning. I dropped my kids off at school. I went to the gym. I had a good, chicken Caesar wrap before the show.
I can't wait for Dave Poitner to get at Vegas today for putting Adian Hutchinson #1 in the Rookie of the Year because he hasn't signed his contract yet.
I'll have to check the Barstool lines. See if they have Adian Hutchinson #1.
Or not.
Yeah, and see what the story is. I don't get that narrative, dude. My life hasn't changed.
I don't either. I mean, great expectations. Do we all not want great things out of Adian Hutchinson? Do we all not want him? But you come at it as the #2 pick for the Detroit Lions. The fact that he's played for the Michigan Wolverines is great, that he's a hometown kid. It's great, all the backstory. But at the end of the day, it's production, and what does he mean to this defense?
Daniel Davis says, for me, Hutchinson should get at least 10 sacks. He gets at least 10, then I'm good with it. And Dan, I'll go so far as to say, I won't put that number on. There isn't a magic number. Game wrecker, alter stuff, causing completions, pressure. That was the book, right? That's what I was told. Somebody said, you got to quit with the I was told bit. But that's what we're told.
No,
I think it's accurate, man. But you know what? And that's fine. We'll have all summer long, like Kid Rock, all summer long. We got to talk about Adian Hutchinson and Defensive Rookie of the Years and all. Hey, I got bars, man.
Hey, that's a Michigan classic.
Yeah,
summertime in northern Michigan.
Summertime in northern Michigan, man. Absolutely. Speaking of Michigan, Hunter Dickinson was critical of Michigan's name, image, and likeness policy, and he was quoted. I want to get it right. I want to do this weird thing where we attribute where it was from. He was on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get that for you because I want to make sure that I get it out there, like who's credited with this interview, because we do things differently here. Where if it's not us that came up with it, we'll tell you who it is, and props to them. But Hunter Dickinson said
24/7 Sports.
24/7 Sports. That's right. That's where it was. I forgot. 24/7 Sports. He told 24/7 Sports they're going to lose out on so many players if they don't start stepping up to the plate. I feel bad for Coach Jawan and Coach Harbaugh because they're trying, Dickinson said. It's not their fault. The coaches are trying for sure. And Sam Flannel, you want this right here? That is preaching. That is gospel from Hunter Dickinson. That has been my problem with Michigan. When I sit down with Braylon Edwards and we have a drink, I've said that for a very long time. The viewpoint, their sentiment, how they act, it's not the 80s anymore, guys. And look, this is a tired bit. We talk about this all the time. But it's not the 80s there anymore. You either keep up or you get left behind. That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. You keep up or you get left behind. And my problem with the way Michigan goes about their business is exactly what Hunter Dickinson said. Hunter Dickinson and I are in lockstep. There's nobody in the world that has said it any better than what Hunter Dickinson said.
You know what the great thing is if you listen to what he said or read what he said, he was so articulate about it, and I think everybody's just going, yeah, he gets it. And this is the star on one of the, the big prime number one teams in Michigan. Sam, what did you think when he said that?
I was happy with it because right now it's not even cheating. You're allowed to pay players. They're allowed to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. And me personally, I would cut off my left pinky for Michigan football to win a national championship. So at all costs, pay the players, give them NIL money. Get in the game, Michigan. Hunter Dickinson, you are absolutely right.
So pretty much the Fab Five would have been good. The banners still would be up and everything else, right? That's pretty much you did it already. You've done it already, and then you got in trouble for it, right, with the Fab Five, and you got banners ripped off, and you got allegations and stuff, so you know how to do it legally now.
And Sam, I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Speaking of that, and this, I know it's a different sport, and I know it's a different thing, but yesterday when we had that discussion, we were talking about the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame and how Chris Webber hasn't been able to get in. And I said that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. When we put that clip out of the show yesterday, I got pushback from people saying that I was crazy, that Webber's not a top 5 player. Look at the shame that he brought to the program and all that stuff. And again, I differentiate. He was on the floor. They played those games. He was the most dominant force I've ever seen for Michigan. And you know what? If you want to make the case for Glenn Rice or somebody like that, okay, I'll disagree with you, but I won't die on that hill. But the sentiment behind it all, that's not the way Michigan does, and I saw the tweets, man. That's not the way Michigan does things. He embarrassed the program and all those things. The bottom line is he was a dominant force on the floor. That's what matters.
Here's the bottom line. Getting back to this. If Michigan doesn't do it the new way, they're going to get left behind.
100%.
You can't be leaders in the
They
past.
are getting left behind.
They are already. You nailed it.
They are.
There. If you don't think right now, as we speak, Michigan's starting to be left behind because they're not being proactive in this.
And it's
going to be too late.
That's not Neal Ruhl, Michigan hater, saying that. That's Hunter Dickinson saying that.
I think that's
him.
I think that's the bottom line. Is we always wonder, hey, what do these college athletes think of this NIL? Like this and that. Well, now you heard, and you not only heard, you heard from probably the best player on the Michigan program that came back, right? That is probably it's more allegedly, because I don't know the numbers. He's in the NIL. He obviously there was some incentive for him to come back. But he wants other players to bring in because, why, Neal? Because you can. You can. You can go out and you can do it.
Yeah, you're allowed.
You are allowed. To what Sam's point, you can, to the term, pay players to commit. You see in football. You look at what's going on between Pittsburgh and UCLA and all this different stuff in football. Bring it to basketball. Michigan, you want to be the leaders of the best? Show this, because now you can do it. In the past, you said, we don't do it that way. Well, you obviously didn't. You got caught. So now you can do it this way. And this is just using Michigan because if they're the best program, the top echelon, lead by example.
And good on Hunter Dickinson for speaking up about it, because that is the way it's going to go. That is the way it's going. And we saw the difference. We talked about the stat the other day. Georgia's 2018 recruiting class.
14 to 26.
14 of the 26 recruits from that class got drafted. Like, that's the way it's going, where you have to have impact players like that. And I do feel for Harbaugh and Juwan Howard. I do, because that is the expectation. How they go about it doesn't matter. The expectation of Michigan fans are that they compete for national titles. That should be their expectation.
Wouldn't put too much expectations on Michigan fans, man. It might not work out too well.
Well, I know that's on me. That's something I got to get better at. No, but I mean, good on Hunter Dickinson we'll talk about the name, image, and likeness stuff, because I have noticed that there is a cross of not just Michigan fans, number one, because they're top of mind right now. That's what we're talking about, and complaints about where it's at and complaints about where it's going. So when we get back, I want to talk about that when we come back.
You know what it is, right? Look at the transition, right? Where the SEC and all the other teams that are deeply involved, can we say allegedly this is the way they've been operating, so it's an easy transition?
Whatever.
Right? It's the same thing as saying we're up north and we're too good for this. And the only thing when Hunter Dickinson came out, I was thinking in the back of my, is he going to get backlash from from the university because this isn't the Michigan way or whatever? But the rules have changed. And what does it mean when your players are now speaking out? Because in the past, you wouldn't hear players speaking out to the culture or whatever else. I think hopefully we see something happen because of this. Do you think that Hunter Dickinson's a big enough name in the Michigan basketball?
And here's the deal. Here's where you have to turn it. And maybe this is what separates Michigan, in that maybe it can't be turned. Maybe the establishment and the way they do business, maybe it's so entrenched that it will never be changed. And Hunter Dickinson, who, as you said...
Are you prepared for that as a Michigan fan?
Are you prepared for that?
Because we know down the road, Michigan State, they're all about NIL. Mel Tucker got his new deal. Maddish, but, they stepped in. Their booster stepped in. Maybe you're deeper to the point.
But even to Michigan State, are you going to take that to the next level?
Well, but they've taken it to the first level.
To the first level.
So they have the option to take it, and we'll have to wait and see. Michigan hasn't even taken it to the first level.
Right, and that's what we have to see. Mike G says, leaders and best, Neal. I guess it's just about the academics. Chuck says the power at Michigan needs to decide if they want to compete with the Bamas and the Kansas basketballs, or they just want to be student athletes like at Western Michigan. Fatal Gator says Michigan thinks they're above paying and shouldn't have to get players there. So Jack Harrington says Michigan will never beat the SEC. # Roll Tide. It does always come back.
Last question on this, Neal, to you. If Michigan did go all in with NIL, do you not think that they would compete with the SEC on a bigger level?
Well, see, here's the thing. That's singular. That's one piece where you say, all right, we're going all in with the NIL. That's one component of it. The second component of it, and I know, but nobody likes to talk about this. They don't. But the people that are responsible for getting the coaches, hiring the coaches, they have to execute too. They're always the ones that get off. The coaches get fired, the players come and go. When there's a bad run at a university, they fire the coach and they move on.
Whoa, you better go to break because you're opening up a whole new can of the question is now that you brought up. So is Michigan not open to NIL because they don't have, in basketball, they do have the coach? In football, is it because they don't think they have the right coach?
No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do have the coach. You know what I'm saying, though? But that's part of it. I'm not saying that's Michigan specific. That's everywhere. But I do want to talk about this name, image, and likeness when we come back. There is one name, image, and likeness that I'd like to strike a deal with, and we have. That's Gypsy Vodka. Summertime's here. No better way to enjoy a Michigan summer day or night than with a Gypsy Vodka. For me, it's Gypsy Club Soda. Couple limes, we are off and running. Gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. It's Michigan's gluten-free vodka, proudly crafted in Petoskey, Michigan. Support local guys from the state of Michigan. It's Gypsy Vodka. You can go ask for it by name. Remember, as always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year, but you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Folding and Warehouse in Hamtramck. You've heard of them. You know about them. Why don't you come down there? You can have your team building event, host a corporate party, or just go out and hang out with your family and friends. Have a good time. Multiple ways you can play. They have $10 open unlimited play. You can stay there all day, have a good time, or private lane reservation for $120, up to 10 people. You know they got the $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a random beer. No hassle, no fuss needed, just great beer. You want to make a decision? You want that choice? They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So go on down to Hamtramck, check them out in person, or visit them online at foldingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foldingwarehouse.com.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. But Hunter Dickinson's comments, 1,000% spot on. A lot of respect for Hunter Dickinson, too, for rolling up and saying it, because that's what it is. That's 100% what it is. People pleaser on our YouTube chat thread. The NCAA needs to organize better. That's on the universities. Kids should be getting their bag because they're major producers and their athletic ability may not last past college. And there's some sentiment in our YouTube chat thread, too, where the people are talking about the name, image, and likeness and how it's out of control and how it needs to be capped, or there needs to be some rules put in place. And I'm confused. Now I am being a little bit smug. I'll let you guys know when I'm doing it from now on. See, I'm confused because if you want a free market to be able to market your name, image, and likeness that belongs to you, how can that be capped? I'm no economics expert. Are the coaches' salaries capped? No, they're not. That's weird. Are the endorsement deals that coaches can get, are those capped? They're not? That's weird. Are the athletic director's salary, are those capped? No? They're not?
No. And
am I missing something?
No, because didn't we nail this when it came out, when they talked about this, say it's going to be the Wild West? You know, how are they going to figure out how to...
Everything's a free market is the Wild West. How are people shocked by this?
I get it. It's just what I don't... You saw this coming. It's not like it didn't come out of left field. This has been coming for a long time. So how are you not prepared for it, especially if you're a power university? That's my question, right? Because you look at all the other ones. So are you telling me Texas Tech wasn't sitting, or Texas A&M wasn't sitting on the precipice with their boosters and everybody going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we can do it. Right now we can do it legally. And what do? They set up a $40 million fund. They set up LLCs. They have things in place, or boosters, people behind the scenes, the guys that hire the coaches, whatever they're already thinking about it, Neal. Right? So they're across this country in different programs, they're already putting it in place. And you're going to get left behind if you don't get involved. Now, is it too late to get involved? No, but I think now's the time, whether we're talking basketball or football, and if we're talking University of Michigan. Do you not agree?
Correct.
That, now is the honey zone, and especially with your top player who came back, who didn't even go to any camps, right, has pretty much done not the college basketball guy where am I going to go to the league, am I not, and sort of hanging the university out to dry. No, he's saying, I'm coming back. I'm going to come back, work on my game, work on my defense. But how about putting a team around me? Hey, we can use money. We have lots of money here at University of Michigan, don't we?
Yeah, and not only that.
They're doing it other places. Here's the problem as an athlete. But he's getting new stuff, but they're doing it. But look at Oregon. Oh my gosh. If you haven't had a chance, go see the behind the scenes of Oregon, right? To walk in and choose whatever color scheme you want to wear on the weekend, right? Those are options that are going around. And I think now the kids are just saying, hey, what about us if we're this big power conference, big power university?
Gromit0237 says, what? Books, room, and board with school paid for isn't enough? Crazy Cat Means Perspective says college players should not be paid. I'll pause and take a breath. And then I'll report this story to you. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren expects to have an agreement in place on a new media rights deal for the conference in about 1 month's time, he told CBS Sports on Monday. The new deal, which could begin in 2023, could be worth a record-setting $1 billion per season, according to Sports Business Journal, with reports that Fox Sports already has a deal in place to renew its part of the deal. Warren did not confirm that report. So the television media deal, which, you know, let's just call that what it is, the football and basketball television deal that the Big Ten signs could be worth $1 billion
a year,
which would be split amongst the members evenly, which, Sam Flannel, how many teams are in the Big Ten?
I believe there's 14 now.
14. So chop up $1 billion by 14. And I don't have that kind of math skill. I know that Sam Flannel always has
70 million.
Is that what it is?
Nah, it's like that 980. 70 is 980.
Okay.
So
sure, we'll call it that.
So we're gonna say 71.4.
Okay, $70-ish million a year per school, just for showing up. And that's just TV. That doesn't count the merchandising. That doesn't count the shoe deals. That doesn't count any of that. So tell me, and now I go back to our YouTube chat thread. Crazy Cat Means Perspective. College players should not be paid. Gromit0237. And he might be being funny with this. I don't know. But I was told that tone means everything. What? Books, room, and board with school paid for isn't enough.
Not today.
$1 billion a season.
See,
that's what it is.
The game's changed. Technology's changed everything. Social media, the way we watch things, the way we cover things, the way we cover players. So you can't have the same rules as when Bo and Woody coached as you do now, right? So it's just getting with the times. So you're telling me that these kids, they're not 71 billion or 71 million to go to a team that some of that doesn't even go to the players or back into the facilities. The hard part that I have when they say about school and board and room and board, right, is half the time the kids can't eat when they want to eat, right? So it's BS to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go eat at this time. If you're a student athlete bringing this much money into the team and you're arguing about that and you can't even get like a sandwich at 11 o'clock at night because you've been studying for 4 hours, that's where the big miss is. The big miss is because they've been neglected on the highest level. So now they see it. And here's the thing with millennials, it's technology. This is their jam. They grew up with it in their hand. They know how it works more than we do. So the fact that this is the Hunter Dickinson coming out and saying this isn't a misnomer, isn't a guy speaking out of turn or anything. You're going to see more and more and more and more and more, and I'd like to see more and more and more guys, have that perspective, because wasn't it, Neal? It was articulated, and we can all agree no matter what. I mean, I'm agreeing with people I'd never agree with, and this is something we can agree with.
There you go. I do like that angle of it. Let me see here. Where was it? Cody Engel. Not every kid is on scholarship, and you can't have a job. You can tell who's never been a college athlete. I don't know if that's a dig at me. You're right, Cody. I only got recruited Division III. That's what it was. So, no, I didn't know what it was like to be offered a full ride or anything like that. But guess what? If you're creating $1 billion a year for a conference and other people are getting a large portion of that, I think you should be entitled to a portion of it too.
Absolutely. It's got to be trickled down.
What's wrong about that?
To the golf team, to the fact that they get new clubs or shoes. Because sometimes that doesn't even happen.
Make it make sense to me.
Make it make sense.
How how you can be against a student athlete who has a direct hand in creating all this wealth and all this money. You can be against them getting and save the room and board and tuition and stuff like that. Save that. That's a built-in cost for the university. Those buildings are already there. Everything is already there. Save that. It's not like they would have an additional student there in their place that's paying their own way. Okay? Let's be let's just come out of La La Land for a minute here with all this, with the absolutes, because the only absolutes are they're going to sign $1 billion a year digital rights deal. That's what the facts are. And the guys and the girls and the student athletes that are responsible for that, damn right they deserve a piece of that. The same way a coach does, the same way an athletic director does, all the way down the line. I got nothing else. Make it make sense how you can be against that. Please, somebody, anybody. Let me know. I want to hear.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
GW the kid, I don't understand why anyone would not want these kids to get paid for what they do. And that's... I don't understand it.
It's more of that breaking the stigma. Of the stigma of, if you get room and board and I feed you and that you get education, you get nothing else. Right? Well, before, you weren't being able to be a huge asset like you are now. How do I know? Because no one was offering you $1 billion deals a year before. So the game's changed. And what do we say, Sam?
With new information, you're allowed to change your opinion.
There you go. And stuff has to change. You
Right.
got to make it the win-win. The universities that figure out how to make this a win-win throughout their coaching, training, athletic department, everything else, they'll be successful.
Right. Cody also says kids on academic scholarships get to make money. Why can't athletes? And Cody, that was always my problem with the rules too. Because they always say, before when there were, the regulations and the restrictions, they always say, well, you'll get penalized for a student athlete getting access to something that a regular student's not able to. But the inverse of that was never true. A student athlete, if you're a phenomenal piano player and you're in the School of Music, guess what you can do? Leave school and go pro. Once you go to play basketball, you're locked in for that. You can't. You have to go to college for a year or go to the G League or whatever you want to do. You have to play in the NCAA. You have to play football for 2 years. Like there's have-tos in place. But for a regular student, if you're a brilliant chemist, you can just chuck the deuces up and go work for DuPont or whoever you want to work for.
And then come back and
then come back and finish if you want to. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. Their new podcast, entitled This is the F Word, it helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions that are so prevalent in our community. You want to check it out? Go to thesportsma.com. If you're struggling, if somebody you know is struggling, be a good friend. Go to thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They can help.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Oh, hi. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter as well, cleaning up this name, image, and likeness discussion. Doughboy Steve in our YouTube chat thread. Hey, Adidas, Neal is wearing your gear on a worldwide broadcast. Why is he not getting a cut? They gave me the jacket for free, so I guess that was my cut. I don't quite command that kind of salary just yet, but we're getting there.
No, and in things like that, because they pay DCFC or other way around.
Yeah.
It's already worked in. It's already worked in.
It's baked in, as they like to say.
It's baked into your salary.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is part of that, too. The amount of money I'm paid by Detroit City to broadcast is a portion of revenues and broadcast revenues and all that kind of stuff. So that is the way that it works. It is the market working. It is a free market at work. So, like that's where it is. Dom Rivera says, wanted to know, does all this money, name, image, and likeness, does it take away from the other sports? And I lost a comment there, so my apologies to you, Dom. Oh, yeah, does the money going to the large athlete take away money from the other sports at the college, Neal? No, I would say it enhances it because it creates more of it. And here's another side note, too. And this is the Big Ten fan, Sam Flannel. And I always do this and point, maybe because it looks like I'm pointing at the camera, but I'm actually pointing at you because Sam Flannel is like just below the camera. And this even goes to you, too, Spence, as a Michigan State person.
It's a booth thing.
I go that way and point. All the Big Ten people, too, that crushed them about Maryland and Rutgers, y'all going to take that $1 billion check, though, aren't you?
Oh, for sure.
And you know what one of the base points of that $1 billion check is?
Maryland and Rutgers.
You know why that is?
Education.
Education.
No, that's what. Yeah, that's what it
up
is.
The GPA.
Yeah,
more games, more
it's,
money.
It's more games, but here's the baseline of it. And I always talk about this all the time, and people are like, "Yeah, you're right." So the Big Ten Network, and I forget what the exact figure is. It might be $1 per subscriber, $2 per subscriber. I forget what the exact number is. I could probably Google it and look it up, but this is principle. And I know everyone here gets caught up on technicalities all the time, so I'll let them get worked up about it. It's $1 or $2 a subscriber. I can't remember what the exact number is. But the Big Ten Network on every cable provider, on every satellite provider, all around Big Ten country. When you bring in Rutgers, which is close to
New York.
When you bring in Maryland, which is close to
New York.
And
Rhode Island, Maine, I don't know.
DC.
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, Baltimore. Straight to Baltimore.
Thank you. So the Big Ten Network, once they make that move, gets added to all of those cable and satellite providers packages of everybody that lives there.
And how many people?
How many people in New York subscribe to cable, or DC, or Baltimore?
Millions.
Or Philadelphia.
All you have to do is go at night, go on to the Look at the World and see where it's lit up, and you see
all
the
those
East
people.
Coast, which is shining, glaring light. All those people.
So that's the way that it works out. They get $1 to $2 for every single subscriber that subscribes to the Big Ten Network, whether they want it or not.
Shout out Terrapins and Scarlet Knights, baby. Let's go.
So there you go. So everybody that sits there and complains about it, if that bothers you that much, then give that portion of the check back. Anybody going to do that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, well, then we're cool then.
Yeah, I'm good.
Go to his brother. Yeah, win that bowl
Go
game.
to his brother. Oh, yeah. tied to a Lagafoa?
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. He was bad last year.
Yeah. Nick Hedigan, Maryland's huge in Baltimore, not as much in D.C., but they get the revenue still. And that's all that matters, Nick. That's all that matters. That's why, again, once you start to understand some of the underbelly of how all this goes down, you're like, hell yeah, this is a business.
Well, let's follow the money. Always follow
Always
the
has
money.
been.
Yes.
Always will be. Always.
It's the easiest barometer.
Right. So that's where it is. Oh, boy. Bob's Big Boy. The Malik Willis guy doesn't know where D.C. is? Shocking.
Yeah. I don't know where Bob's Big Boy is either. So.
Well, we were there.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
I know. We're looking at getting back to Bob's Big Boy. Absolutely. As a matter of at least one of them. I'm here for it. But that's where it is. Bob's Big Boy. It's not personal. It's business.
Hey,
you're right, Bob. Absolutely, it is, and it's all business.
Fact.
It is a fact. Lions Draft is getting a lot of love across the country in the media, national writers, local writers, people on this network. Honolulu Blues on Twitter, because we do this weird thing where we credit people when they bring stuff to the table that we actually use. It's a new phenomenon that's sweeping the media world. At Honolulu Blues _ on Twitter. Lions Draft grades by major media outlets. CBS, A-, Barstool Sports, A+, probably because of the Adian Hutchinson pick. PFF, A+, NFL.com, B+, SI Sports, A, Mel Kiper, B+, not that one matters. Bleacher Report, A, Yahoo, B+, USA Today. What would you grade the Lions Draft? And I guess, and I know where everyone's going to go with this, right? It always gets an A or a B. It always does that. And because hopium sells, man.
Hey.
Opium's, it's a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug. That's that Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid, man.
The Honolulu Blue Magic.
Yeah, can't get enough. That is trademark infringement.
Rack says, the great Ted DiBiase once said, everybody has a price. The greatest laugh in the history of laughs, too, Ted DiBiase has. But, I'm kind of curious to see, and I know everyone's going to draft it an A or a B. Outside of Hutchinson, what pick is everybody the most jazzed about?
We had Scott Bischoff on the heavyweights, and Easy's a big Malcolm Rodriguez guy, and we got to talking about Malcolm Rodriguez. That guy, you put his film on, he looks a lot like Nakobe Dean. Like the way he plays, the way he's all around the ball, him getting in there, he's a little undersized, but man, his film is fun to watch. I like that pick a lot. I like Kirby Joseph. Scott said, he's a little bit of a project though. He still needs some time to get in there. But
explain that. What does Scott have to say about Kirby? Because that's the one I think that I'm the most intrigued by. I wouldn't say I'm the highest on, but I am the most intrigued by.
Yeah, he told us that he's not all there yet. He's great. He's great. A ball on safety, going into coverage, making plays on the ball, good with that. But he doesn't have that it yet to where he's going to go up there, he's going to stick somebody. He might miss a couple tackles, but what Scott said with him playing behind, a Tracy Walker, and this will help him get that factor of his game. It'll help him learn where to hit, how to get up there and fill holes. And I'm excited with that too. Scott liked it. He liked it a lot. He liked all our picks, but he said that he might need a little time. He might not be a starter right out of the gates, but he can definitely see him coming in and making an impact.
I like Pascal. I think that's
no one's talking about him.
I just looking into it and doing a couple deep dives and because of where he was ranked, I think 44th on PFF's big board or whatever. But here's the thing that I saw: he was the highest graded edge defender in the SEC last year. That means he can play against high quality talent. The game's not too big for him. Another stat, which you're looking into the sabermetrics and stuff like that. So relative athletic score, right up 9.7. What does it mean, D-Mac? I don't know, but I'll tell you this.
We hold on.
Listen.
We have to have that clipped. We have to.
But it doesn't matter. But him at 9.7 graded out of 10, he was the 46th. Right? Or whatever like that. The 46 out of 1,503 defensive ends graded from 1987 to 2022. Does that mean something? I like numbers. That means that, what's that? 1 in 30? He's a 1 in 30 guy that has come across. So you're putting these things together. He's the guy that I'm looking forward. And if we're talking about, is this Hutchinson's Ajabo? I mean, is this the guy that plays off him that's going to open Hutchinson up? Is he going to help? But to me, that's who I'm excited about. Just because what he brings, and I think there's something there. The big thing that the most, Neal, is that he's played in the SEC, played in Kentucky, so he wasn't one of the powerhouses, but he played against all the powerhouses. It's not Sunday's not going to be too big for this kid.
No, and low key, whenever Kentucky, because I did watch, I would turn Kentucky on. That was always my filler game on a Saturday.
Kentucky's it used to be A&M, right? Texas.
I think
A&M.
That's a really good comp. It used to be.
It used to be, but now it's Kentucky. There's always that one team out there that if they're on, you want to because they can compete.
Well, their defense was so good.
So good. Oh, and
every game.
Right.
And always they would run out.
Who's the other guy? Josh Allen, the defensive guy, came out. So that's what produced Josh Allen in Jacksonville, not the quarterback, the defensive back that went. So it's a bit of a factory there. So
it always seems like they played Georgia all the time, and when they did, it was always like 17-10 at halftime or 17-7 at halftime, and then they couldn't score. and then Georgia, just by the nature of the beast, would end up beating them 31-7 or whatever it was. And you look at the score and you'd say, oh, they dominated them. But because of their defense, they were always in football games. I bet you watched a fair share of Kentucky football, Sam Flannel.
I mean, I watched a little bit.
Yeah.
Josh Paschal is definitely one of those guys. He kind of flashed off the screen for me. I think could be a good pick to kind of pair with, Adian Hutchinson. And you're right, those first halves sometimes with Georgia, they would be rock fights. And then, of course, in the second half, Georgia, by their sheer will and their talent, would just overwhelm
them. And by
them.
the fact that they have 16 of 24 of their recruits from the 2018 class that got drafted into the NFL.
14 of 26, but still.
Whatever, yeah. Whatever the number is, all right? Nick Hedigan says, what's the sports marketing agency website again? I'll tell you, Nick, it's thesportsma.com. Check out what they're doing, man. It's pretty cool. Thesportsma.com. Braylon Edwards here at Woodward Sports. He's intertwined with them, so go check out what they're doing right now. But we are talking Detroit Lions NFL draft, and just who's the guy you're excited about? And I saw Khalil Pimpleton getting some love too, the undrafted free agent out of Central. That's kind of lightning in a bottle, and that's the kind of guy.
Not to be confused with the Pinkerton from back in the day. It's
correct.
Pimpleton.
Yes. 5'9", 175, but he had that electric game against Western that was on national television where he scored a touchdown like 100 touchdowns in the second quarter alone, and every time he touched a football, he scored. So that got everybody really excited. I mean, it's just, for me, the return game's not what it used to be. Weaponry on the return game, just, with the kickoff rules, and it's just not there. How good punters are now.
How many times is there a return in the game?
Yeah, so few. So there's so few times. But I do want to continue the discussion after D-Mac tells you about where you should go get a haircut.
Well, guys, we broadcast live every day from the Lady Jane's studios, P Fitness and the headquarters of Lady Jane's Haircuts. It's so cool to be able to walk over there, just like you can, and get a haircut and the King's treatment, whatever you want. So you walk in, you sign, and you sit down. 168 Lady Janes across this great country. They're open from 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Get yourself in there. Get yourself a do. And let's go. Lady Jane's, why? It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Sticker Genius is the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. For stickers and signage, D-Mac likes his stickers. And look at the Lady Janes. It's all good. All within 24 hours. So stickergenius.com. Get your butt over there. Get some stickers. Tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty. We got Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, too. You've been perusing the YouTube chat thread there?
Yeah, definitely. Mike G sent one out and said I should get NIL money from Quality Dairy, and man, that is the truth.
Okay,
that's a pipe dream, isn't it?
That's a pipe dream. I mean, I lived on Gunson for 2 years in East Lansing, and there's a Quality Dairy right on the end of the street. And so, man.
Well, I have to dig deeper before we go back to talk about the Lions NFL draft. Here's what I picture. Spencer Raxter, who is famous for the nightlife. As we know, we've seen video of him on stage at opening day.
Oh, yeah.
He enjoys a good time. We'll say it like that. I think that's fair. I picture, a college-age Spencer Raxter doing his thing out there, bumping around the Cedar River and just getting it in.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is the bill comes due on Sunday morning.
It sure does.
It sure does. I picture you kind of just grinding up to the Quality Dairy.
Oh, yeah.
How many quarts of milk in one sitting from the Quality Dairy? And when you look back on it, you probably think I should have just bought a gallon and drank the whole gallon.
Yeah.
I picture you having at least 2 quarts of milk.
2, 3, maybe. I mean, it's.
You get the 3 ever?
I've gotten to 3. It's I'd walk back from class, past Quality Dairy, go in there on the way back, grab a couple cases of Busch Light. Walk down.
Well, it's Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, Monday, whatever.
Once it's
day
past
it
noon,
is.
you can do that.
Exactly. So I grab it, walk back down the street, and then, the next day, I'm waking up, I'm going down there, grabbing a couple quarts of milk, maybe a box of Honey Smacks, something like that. And
that's because you don't have strawberry Frosted Flakes yet.
That's
we
for
think
sure.
There might be that for those.
Quality Dairy, I spent an unlimited amount of money in there. That was big chocolate milk guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you for sure.
Yeah. Well, on the YouTube chat thread, this is pretty funny.
Chocolate milk for sure. 2%. 2% milk all day.
Yeah, I'm I shouldn't. I'm Team Almond Milk guy. That's yeah. Well, yeah, but that's where I am with it. But on our YouTube chat thread, Mike G says Ward Manual is like Gus Fring, makes it, ships it, sells it. Maize and Blue Crystal. I could see how somebody would say something like that. Joey 2 times. Oh, my apologies there. The feed kind of refreshed on me. People are asking, are you going to get a Manscaped deal anytime soon?
Manscaped, they hit up heavyweights. Manscaped was.
Did they really?
Yeah, they were in our email. They were trying to shoot us some deals, so we're going to see how that works out. We might have that promo code heavyweights going through the Manscaped. We're going to find it out.
I'll buy one just on print, just so I could put the promo code heavyweights in there.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I absolutely will do that. So hey, Bob's big boy, Manscaped already beat you to that punch. You think you're a great marketing guy? I think their people are pretty much lock stock on it as well. So just getting back into this whole Detroit Lions draft situation and what people think and. Darren's mic, R.I.P. That's pretty good. They're getting it handled right now. But I did want to get back into this Lions draft situation because they did. I mean, they doubled down on pass rushers. And look, I know that Paschal can go to different parts of the defensive line. I understand that. I know that he can really line up anywhere, defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker. He is kind of a Swiss Army knife with what he can do. And, I guess, is he kind of building a beast with this thing, D-Mac? Just in that. Here's the thing that it really intrigues me about Paschal is the diversity of his game. What do we talk about, D-Mac? What have sports turned into? A matchup-driven proposition where the more you can do, the more valuable you are because the different spots I can put you in to where you're in a matchup that's in our favor.
Versatility. What's this game become? It's become versatile, right? Where you need the guys to cover. You need guys that can run. Speed is the new size, even in the NFL, the way the rules are. So you got to have guys that are sort of hybrids, Neal. That can play inside, can play outside, can go against the bigger offensive lineman, but can hit on the edge, right? To your point about is Brad Holmes putting together a whole bunch of hosses? He's putting together some big boys, but he's putting together athletes, right? You look at all these guys' resume, and they're all athletes at some point. The big thing that I want you to look at, right? And it starts with the number 2 guy that we know. What do we talk about? Adian Hutchinson. We talk about his motor, right? These are all motor guys. These are all guys that, and we saw it last year, right? It was lack of talent, not lack of commitment or guys out there giving everything they had, right? We saw that. So if the coaching can if they've added more talent and more versatility and you trust in Brad Holmes and Daya Campbell and Aaron Glenn, the defensive guy, he's putting players together. So you might not see the typical, he's going to line up here and he's going to line up here. What makes other teams so good? What makes the Rams, they won the Super Bowl. You look at the last play. You look at the end games. It's the Aaron Donalds coming from different angles, guys that can crisscross, that can attack, can stunt, can do all this. That's the new NFL, and all these guys coming in. If you're bringing versatility and changing it up, I like it. More athleticism. You bring in athletes that can play different positions and have the pedigree.
And that's what it is. And therein, you can match them up all over the field. When you have your slow linebacker out there, or you have your running back that can't block,
here's
that's
the thing.
a wrap.
You can insulate your weaknesses.
And you can do that too, no doubt.
No, but what I'm saying is that you're not going to have, an end rusher that's supposed to get the quarterback covering a running back out of the backfield because he's going to get torched. You're going to have a guy that can run with the running back. Right, so it more talent allows you more versatility, which on paper, Neal, going into training camp, you got to like what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. If I'm going to give them a grade, it's like a B+ or an A. I got to see what's out there, but I'm happy with what we've chosen.
Shuffling 2276. Haven't seen you in there before. Appreciate you tapping into Big D Energy. Every team in the AFC West has 2 pass rushers. San Diego has Bosa and Mack. Broncos have Gregory and Chubbs. Kansas City has Jones and Clark and Karlaftis. The Raiders have Jones and Crosby. And it's interesting because that's the way we're seeing the league go right now. The pressure and the sack has become almost the new turnover.
Yes.
Because it flips the field, it puts you in third and teens. And while, as Lions fans, it feels like the other teams are always 75% on 3rd and 15 against us for whatever reason. But that's the way football is played now. Because passing games are so good. And execution, when a pass play is executed perfectly, you can't stop it.
No, and especially if there's given time because of the rules, because everything else, you give 3-4 seconds. These are professional football players, and especially if you give a guy a 2-way out. I mean, it's a game of cat and mouse, right? Who's ahead? Who can guess what the other guy's going to do? Who can throw it off? What I like with athleticism, Neal, is it gives you different looks pre-snap, right? Which means you can show a 3-4 look, go to a 4-3 look, show blitz, not show blitz, but have the ability, right, where the offensive team has to look and go take you seriously. Because that guy can run. And that if you think he's covering your tight end, it might not be open. So I think what the options that it gives, but again, we got to see it play out on the field.
No, we do, and that's what we're going to talk about, though. All summer long, we're going to be rolling through all this. But that is, for me, it's Kirby Joseph. That's the one that intrigues me the most. I'm not calling for it to say he's going to be the best player or he's going to be this huge impact guy. I enjoy seeing people that somehow, some way, always end up with the football on defense. And that's the way it is with Kirby Joseph. Is he the most refined guy? No. Is he the most polished guy? No. But for some reason, even with Illinois, when he's out there on that field, the football always seems to find him. On our YouTube chat thread, somebody said earlier, it's too early to kind of grade out these. And I'm not doing like the grade thing. I don't. Everyone says an A. Everybody does. And if not an A, a B. So I don't go that route. I want to know who you're intrigued by. And somebody said if you wanted to grade out the 2019 draft today, let's do that. All right, so real quick here, I'll give you a spin. 2019, first pick, TJ Hawkinson. They picked up the option, but in the words of Drake,
we're going to see.
We're going to see. We don't know yet. Will he see us? Are we going to see a second contract? We're going to see. Second pick, Jelani Tavai. Okay. Moving on, Will Harris, safety. Austin Bryant.
Well, he's played. It's just there's always.
And Mark LaHooch, what a hitter!
Listen, Will Harris is I still think there might be something. There always something a little bit more.
I get it. Fourth round, Austin Bryant. He played. Fifth round, Amani Aruwariye. Okay.
Ding, ding.
Okay. Gotta stay on the field.
Yeah.
But kind of had a breakthrough this last year until he got hurt.
Great year this year.
Okay. Sixth round.
He got stats.
Yeah, he did. He got stats. And he also missed games.
Right.
One of the stats is missed games column.
Yeah, availability, no bueno.
Sixth round, Travis Fulgham.
Who?
Sixth round, Ty Johnson.
Didn't Fulgham go somewhere else?
Hit it again. Just keep your finger on that button. Seventh round, Isaac Nauta. Didn't even know we ever had that guy. Seventh round, P.J. Johnson.
Now, who drafted those guys?
Previous regime. That in no way reflects the views expressed on Woodward Sports' behalf, Neal Ruhl's behalf, or anybody else's behalf of Brad Holmes, because he did not pick those guys. Although, I guess good catch on Aruwariye.
Yeah,
if he stays healthy.
Later.
So that's what it was.
Fourth rounder?
Fifth rounder.
Fifth rounder, yeah. So there are, it shows you where you've come from, right? Which means this big, obviously, make or break year as far as this organization, in my opinion, for Hawk. You still mentioned, so you got a Hawkinson, you got a Kuda, right? That you're still looking for the best out of them. I mean, there's stuff there. There's stuff there to get excited about.
There is, and there's also stuff to laugh at, so it's a typical...
Yes, there is also that, too.
All right. Summer of Cintron is here, and now Cintron's available at your local Kroger. Make sure you pick some up next time you're out grocery shopping. If you want to find out if it's for you or not, they got a special going right now. Get a couple of Cintrons for just $4. Give it a spin. They're partners with the Detroit Red Wings, partners with the Detroit Pistons, partners with Detroit City FC. Back when the Red Wings were playing, not now because they're not in the playoffs again, but back when they were playing, you saw the Cintron ad behind the goal at Little Caesars Arena. Cintron's the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Adian Hutchinson, defensive end, Michigan.
Neal Ruhl here for Wing Snob, and I was told it takes a snob to know a snob, so here I am. Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings in the game today. The great signature sauces, the lemon pepper, the Jamaican jerk. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. It's lunchtime, guys. Go order online right now at wingsnob.com. Wing Snob. We just have better wings. Ooh, I had to dig deep. I don't know if it'll work tomorrow.
That dramatic pause. Yeah. That was good.
That one was good. Cause
I didn't know what I was going to do 3 seconds before it. It was going like... So when you do this game for a long time, when you're in the broadcasting world, you do play-by-play in particular, when live fire's going on and people are in your ear talking and telling you what's coming up next and what we're going to get to, and there was a stat change. Everybody's saying that while you're talking. Mm-hmm. So you get good at blocking that out but still listening to it. The words that come out of my mouth have already been blue check verified when they were created in my brain. And then they're sent down to my mouth, and then it goes out over the air. So while it's in process of going out over the air, that's when I'm listening to what's being said. And I was in a situation there where they were counting me down, and I didn't know what I was going to do. How was I going to get D-Mac to crack on this one? I didn't know.
You got it. Facial expressions. Remember, it's always in the facial expressions.
So
that's where the sell is.
Tomorrow's going to be hard. Like, there's D-Mac, I'm not going to lie to you. And I love you, brother. I love you. And you're a gamer. And you show up. And it would have been very easy to tap out. There's almost a small part of me that gets that text tonight that says, Neal, I can't go tomorrow, man. I'm sorry. Because I need to collect myself. To quote Boys to Men, the waters run dry.
Oh, really?
Okay? I don't have any answers. I'm like the Nashville Predators in the first period last night. I got no answers.
All right. My name is Steve-O. Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. We'll see how it shakes down though. D-Mac is a warrior. A listener on our YouTube chat thread yesterday came up with and my apologies for not remembering who it is, but my admiration and thankfulness to you is just a small token of what you deserve, because you came up with great content and you're to be commended. What general manager in Detroit right now do you have the most faith in? When you look around, the landscape, and certainly Trevor James is different because I think soccer is different because there's no draft to supplement talent or anything like that. The trades work differently, and plus his resume speaks for itself. He's shown up on the scene and won every trophy all the time. But as far as the sports with drafts, right now, here and now, draw the line. Who do you have the most faith in between those four that were listed? And our guy Spencer will put it on the YouTube poll. What GM do you have the most faith in right now between Yzerman, Brad Holmes, Troy Weaver, and Al Avila? I know what you're compromised.
I'm compromised. I'm compromised because I got the Silver Linings playbook, boys. They don't want me to have it, but they never take the playbook back because it's right here. And I was raised by all of them, so I know what's going on. But it's my guy. But here's the thing, as a Detroit sports fan my whole life, I like the position we're at with all these guys. And the last one that had to sell me was Al Avila. I think that the fact that you realize that he's up against more things and trying to get things done, but it's got to be Yzerman. But Holmes and Weaver are closing the gap, Neal. Is that fair enough? Fair to say?
I mean, if I don't know that there's a wrong answer unless you say Al Avila to me. I don't know that there's a wrong answer. But but it's not all Al Avila's fault.
Right.
And I would say even baseball is a bit of a different animal. I like the way you put those three on the grade because I think those are the three most comparable.
For sure.
NBA and NFL are very comparable. And then the NHL, because there's some delayed gratification with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all Al Avila's fault. You can wake up one day in baseball as an owner and say, we're going to be good. The Mets did it. Steve Cohen does it every single day. He wakes up and says, we're going to win the World Series this year.
Hockey's a process. To get it right, you have to build, right? Football, the same sort of thing, but the way that the rules are, you can go bottom to top quicker, right? NBA, though, Troy Weaver, what he's done, that's the team that could be the quickest back to the dance. So if I'm having this conversation, I like the position they're all in.
No, and I do too. Adam Beydoun from the Morning Woodward show chimed in. He says, 1, Steve Yzerman, 1A, Brad Holmes. You don't understand the assignment, Adam Beydoun. You can't do a 1 and a 1A. Especially you, big bro. Come on, man. That's weak. You got to pick one. You got to pick. I know where D-Mac is at. And for me, and it's up to me. Like, I get to interpret this the way that I want, the same way you do. It's like having an MVP vote or a Heisman vote or whatever. For me, Yzerman, certainly, he was buried when he walked in. Absolutely buried. Because I like singular moments. You guys know how I roll. That's why I say Joe Dumars should be in the Hall of Fame as a player and as an executive. because he traded Mateen Cleaves for John Barry and a first-round pick. That in and of itself is a Hall of Fame move. But after that, for me, it's Brad Holmes. And circumstances are part of it. And Steve Yzerman has done it. Steve Yzerman was buried when he took over. You guys understand that Franz Nielsen was making $6 million a year when Steve Yzerman took over the Red Wings. I'll never let that go. A, because Kenny Holland enabled that. And B, because that's the example of what he had to deal with. Think about that for a minute. He had to overcome all of that. And yesterday we talked about the contracts. But for me, it's Brad Holmes. Because for Steve, we knew what he was going to do, and he did it in the past with Tampa. So I know that there's some predisposition to it. But for Brad Holmes, the way that he shifted seemingly an entire organization who's been entrenched in their way of thinking for a long time, he has come in and flipped that around.
Well, a lot of that has to do, I think, too, is the change. Right, and that starts with Sheila, right? Sheila bringing in Spielman, bringing in Brad Holmes, doing things a little different. The one thing that I asked you, other than Al Avila, do you feel like Weaver has control, Holmes has control, and Yzerman has control of these teams?
I think Yzerman does.
I think Avila does.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Avila does not.
Yzerman does.
Yzerman. I would say, like, if you rank that. Yzerman number
Yzerman,
one.
Weaver.
Yeah, Yzerman number 1 million on that. I mean, just 1,000,000%.
But here's the thing, Troy Weaver, with what he's done,
it suggests
with Tom
that he
Gores
does
owning it the way Tom Gores was the Mark Cuban of the Pistons all around. When he brought Troy Weaver in, he's out in L.A. We haven't heard a beep from him, letting Troy do his thing.
Right.
So I put him second.
We suspect with Brad Holmes, but we don't 100%.
Right,
But
exactly.
I feel that way.
I put
though.
him in third, but I think he's got more say, like the eldest in the family, right? Hey, Mom and Dad, yeah, that's good. Have you thought about this? Oh, okay, son, maybe.
Yeah, and that's where it was. So I think it's Brad Holmes just because of the magnitude of the job that he has to do. I mean, it is all-encompassing. It's like Guardian Alarm Security.
Well, you know
it's
why
everything.
It works for all these GMs? Because the Guardian Alarm. You know it. Keeps you safe, gives you peace of mind, whether home or the road. These guys are on the road a lot. They're at home, 24 hours. Security, Guardian Alarm. If it's good enough for your team's guys, it's good enough for you. So, being the local security experts Guardian Alarm is, you can be part of the Big D Woodward Sports family by giving them a call. Sammy Flannel, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Where do you call to protect all those beautiful flannels? You call 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Do it.
Stay out of his house. 53 in a row? 53 in a row. That's a streak, folks. Guardian Alarm. Give them a call. Your local security experts. Big D Energy. Be right back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning. Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club, get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitor prices by at least $5. Chili Peppers Tanning has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, and more, all at chilipepperstanning.com. 26 locations. More on the way. Again, go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one is best for you. Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty limping to the finish line, but he is here. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter as well. The YouTube chat poll. What GM do you have the most faith in right now? And it's neck and neck. Yzerman, 47%. Brad Holmes, 45%. Troy Weaver 6%, Al Avila 1%. So there it is.
Troy Weaver's getting disrespected.
No, I think all the votes went the other way, right? So I think it's a safe third. Most people agree it's Yzerman or Holmes, but the votes take away from Weaver. I don't read that as Weaver thinking he's doing a bad job. Just not a good job.
I thought that Yzerman would have a larger lead. But
so did I, but that goes to show you that people are down legitimately with what the Lions did this draft.
Right. And there is a bit of that. And I think some of it, too, is what I talk about, and I think people are kind of vibing with that, where it's apparent that things have changed to me. When he walked in the door and they traded Matt Stafford, that really...
That was new behavior.
Yes.
But it's also new behavior is moving up 20 picks to go and get a Jameson Williams, because that's a game changer, right? Like those are moves that winning franchises make. Well, because what do? They identify a player and they don't care what it takes to get that player. And then in the whole scheme of things, when you look back and you go, well, you didn't really cost you much because you got that pick from here and that pick from here. Oh, wow, he's doing GM duties. He's being a GM, Neal. Wow, go figure. A GM for the Lions actually being a GM? We hadn't seen that in years.
Yeah, and for me, it's the stakes and the magnitude of everything, where if he pulls this off, I think he's brought the philosophy of today's NFL, where the financials are just as much of a factor as talent is, especially talent under the right financials. That's the golden key to all this. That's the way that it works. The St. Browns of the world, who, by the way, his entire rookie contract with the Detroit Lions is for less money than Kenny Golladay will make in September. I don't know if you know that or not.
I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah.
I can't remember where, though.
But those are the moves.
But in saying that, Quarrier or whatever being a fifth rounder is one of those picks, right? That's on that contract, and somebody that you're looking through. Oh, we did have one or two in the backfire. Here, can I ask you guys before we get going, little NHL, tonight's games? Obviously, Carolina, Boston. Who you think Boston comes back, or is this a Carolina?
No, I'm big on Carolina.
Carolina at home.
Yeah, I think Carolina at home will get that done. Carolina in 5.
Yeah, I got the Canes.
How about the Toronto Leafs game tonight? Do you think?
Oh, man.
See, because I'm telling you, this is the one to watch to see. You not
you
only
know
need
where
Toronto
I stand.
if they can build, right, and they're not looking to blow out Tampa again, but they're looking to take a 2-0 lead. This is the biggest. There's so many storylines, but if Toronto's the real deal, you'll see it, especially early tonight. But I think Tampa, I can't.
D-Mac, you know I'm
Tampa's
compromised.
Dead, they're not dead.
You know I'm compromised with that because I want Toronto out. But Toronto can't blow a 3-0 lead if they're not up 3-0.
Okay.
And I want that even more. But here in the first round, here's what I'll do. I'll take Toronto tonight. I'll take Toronto in Game 3. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I'm going with my heart here on this. I want the 3-0 lead for Toronto. I need the 3-0 lead.
Take it away.
Yes. I want them to blow a 3-0 lead.
You are jeopardizing them winning in 5.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I know.
And
I understand
7,
that.
right.
I understand that, and that's a risk I'm willing to take. Hey, man, you got to gamble sometimes.
Minnesota's goaltending suspect. Fleury crapped the bed. Probably looks to see Cam Talbot, but St. Louis, I think that series gets tied up at 1 tonight. I think Minnesota comes back.
Oh, they like I said before they started that series, just start at Game 7 and then play the game.
But what about LA Edmonton?
Hey, I'm telling you what.
The egg in the shell is starting to crack.
You guys are going to think this is grandiose.
Probably
that is a franchise-altering game tonight. I think it is a franchise-altering game for Edmonton.
Edmonton needs this
more
than Tampa does.
And they lose in the first round, and the Red Wings trade for Connor McDavid.
If they go down 2-0.
They got the cap space to do it.
Oh, man, I would cry. I would cry tears of joy.
They got the cap space to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, can we just get through this 2022 playoffs and wait and see who our next coach is before you guys all start throwing that around. But there is a pathway for that to happen. I'll leave you at that. And we found Gold Oak Island, Matty.
We did not, for Christ's sake. Hey, everybody, thanks for tapping into Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. For D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, and for Spencer. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.